Welcome back to episode number something or other.
25.
Ooh, 25. That's sort of a cool number.
I'm glad that you said that because I was going to say something about it, but then I completely forgot.
Cool. Cool.
So it's a quarter of 100.
I know.
It's a lot.
It is a lot, especially for us.
Yep.
We're terrible at things.
Milestone, if you will.
Yes.
Baby milestone.
A little one.
Yeah.
But again, a big one for us.
Big one for us. Well, we're going to do the best we can tonight. It is storming.
Yes.
So the dogs are freaking out. So if you hear our dog whining and pacing in the background, it's because it's thundering.
Yes.
Hopefully we don't lose power because our old house likes to lose power.
We don't really need power for this, though.
No, I guess not. Yeah, because the laptop would have charge on it.
The laptop has charge. Your iPad has charge.
Yeah.
The microphone is hooked up to the iPad.
That's true. So
power's not really a thing right now.
Never mind.
I just bit my tongue.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
So hopefully I can speak like a normal person.
So you're going to be biting your tongue every day for the next week.
Yeah, because it's going to be swollen.
Gross.
I just pulled 6 plastic dinosaurs out of my bra. Am I allowed to say that on the podcast?
How did they get there?
I didn't have any hands for them when I was in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And they just got washed because they were cupcake toppers.
Oh, the baby's birthday party.
And so I was bringing them with me. And so I just stuck them in my bra. But they were uncomfortable, so.
I was going to say they'd be very pokey.
They're very pokey because they're not like soft plastic. They're like
hard
pokey plastic.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, great. I've been yachting all day. So best of luck to everybody listening to me today.
Yes.
All right. Well, what else is new?
My mental health professionals want me to clean my room, which I'm terrible at.
Yes.
And also say nice things about myself, which I'm also terrible at.
So 2 of the 3 hardest things.
I know.
Because the third one would be, hey, you need to lose some weight.
Yeah. Which is the hardest thing.
Yeah, I know. It's like I keep thinking, I'm going to do this. And then by the time, like, I don't know, I lose momentum. I
can't seem to bring myself to exercise.
Well, we went on that one walk around the block the other day.
Yes.
And then we went to Albuquerque the next day.
Yes.
And then I was going to go for a walk yesterday, and then I kind of went bleh.
I was going to work out today, but I was full, and then I didn't.
Yeah, well, and I'm fantastic at making excuses, because, like, yesterday it was, but I have to start my second part-time job tomorrow, and I don't want to, and now I'm sad, and I don't want to do it. And then today it was, well, I have to write a podcast episode, so I can't do it today.
Yeah.
And so, who knows?
There's no time for 30 minutes of doing something for your health.
I know, I don't even remember what I was reading it on, now I'm really, like, where did I see that? But it was something about how, like, people will say, well, we all have the same 24 hours. And the person was basically saying, no, we don't, because everybody has different responsibilities and different amounts of responsibilities and different levels of responsibilities and different mental health issues. And I've
heard it put that we're all, like, crossing the same ocean, but we are on different boats.
Yeah. Exactly. Because, like, you know, there's some people out there who, you know, they go to work in the morning, make $1 million, and then go play golf for the rest of the afternoon, and then go eat, like, $100 steaks in the evenings.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And I feel like I'm the end of the Titanic where Jack is trying to get on the thing with Rose, and basically they're like, oh, sorry, there's no room.
Yeah. Even though it was a giant door and he totally could have fit on there. I've literally never watched that movie, and I will go to the grave never watching that movie. But I have seen, like, memes about that.
Yes. I've never seen it either.
Have you seen the one where they put the cat there where Rose is supposed to be, and the cat's, like, swatting him away?
Yeah. But no, like, I feel like Jack trying to get on the door. That's the boat I have. And Rose is like, sorry, there's no room for you on this door.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, that's kind of how I feel with my 24 hours.
Yep.
But, you know, I make time every once in a while. I was trying to do a 30-day challenge where I worked out every day. And I was doing really well at the beginning, but then life happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got maybe 2 weeks into it before
Kitties.
I just kind of, before kittens and things like that. And
yeah. So remember the Fit Girls thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the other day I just randomly was like, is this still a thing?
Yeah.
And they're starting a new challenge on January.
January.
Whew. That's a way long ways away. June 3rd.
June.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe. And so I, like, found the PDF of the cookbook that we bought, like, 1,000 years ago. And I was showing some of the recipes to Bear, and he was like, oh, that looks so good. Where is that? It was like one of the zucchini boat things or something.
Like, I don't mind the zucchini boats, and I didn't mind the fried rice or, like, the pita pizzas. But, like, most of it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. So I thought maybe I would try it just because he seemed like he was interested in maybe some of the food.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I guess we'll see. It had a lot of bell peppers in their food, and I don't like bell peppers.
I'm sure it's not a requirement to eat bell peppers.
It's a requirement. They said if you don't eat bell peppers, you can't do this.
You won't lose weight if you don't eat bell peppers.
And I was like, fat for life then.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
should we tell the people a story?
I guess we could. All right. So I'm just gonna jump on in.
All right. Go forth and jump.
Off the door.
Off the door. Because Rose wouldn't scoot over.
See, that's the thing. Is that, like, I feel like my boat is that, like, I keep getting on the door, and then I keep falling off the door.
Yeah.
Like, I finally get up on the door, and then I fall off the door.
Yeah.
And so
I'm hanging onto the edge of the door, and the cat is swatting me off of it.
yeah. Chunk.
Yeah.
It is not Hazel. Hazel would be like, Mom,
please get on the door with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so anyway. On the afternoon of March 20th, 2004, a Vermont state trooper was dispatched to an abandoned house known as the Dutchburn House on Route 118 in Richford, Vermont, to investigate reports that a car was backed into the house and abandoned. When he arrived, he found a green Oldsmobile literally backed into the side of the house. A piece of plywood that had been used to board up one of the windows had fallen on the off of the house and was resting on the back of the car, and the back tires were kind of up over the foundation of the house.
Okay.
The doors to the car were shut, but not locked. The lights were turned off. The officer assumed that the car had been abandoned by a drunk driver, had the car towed to a local garage, did a very minimal amount of investigation that day, and then went about his business.
All right.
So, about this time, you're probably wondering if I've become senile, and I am reporting the same exact story as I did last week.
No.
No? Alright. Does it sound familiar to you at all?
I mean, there was an abandoned car, but...
Okay. Well,
I don't think her car was backed into a house.
it wasn't backed into a house, but it was just found randomly on the side of the road. Okay, so... I mean, this happened basically about the same time as Maura Murray. She disappeared 100 miles away just 1 month prior to this. So, among the items found in and around the car were loose change, a water bottle, jewelry, an unsmoked cigarette, and on the passenger seat, 2 uncashed paychecks belonging to someone named Brianna Maitland.
All right.
Rather than run the plates for the car, this trooper went solely off of the paychecks. They had been issued to Brianna by the Black Lantern Inn, a local restaurant approximately a mile from where the car was found. The trooper, who is still unnamed in documents, probably for the stellar exhibition of police work, went by the Black Lantern Inn, found it closed, and basically went about his life.
Yeah.
It seems that his days off followed this, and that he perhaps didn't even think about this case again.
Okay.
And so that's the beginning of nothing good. And so I'm going to back things up, and I'm going to tell you about Brianna Maitland.
Sounds good.
So Brianna was born October 8th, 1986. And I thought this was really weird because Maura was born the same year I was born.
Yeah.
And Brianna was born the same year you were born.
Yeah.
And they both disappeared within, like, weeks of each other in 2004. In, like, the same area.
All right.
Yeah. So, Brianna's parents are Bruce and Kelly Maitland, and she has one older brother named Waylon. She was raised on the family's farm in East Franklin, Vermont, which is, like, spitting distance from the Canadian border. But, like, don't spit at Canada.
No.
They put up enough from United Stations right now. I refuse to call us Americans, because everybody in the 2 continents are Americans.
Yes.
So, we're United Stations now.
Stations.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything better. States holes. What do you think?
Statesman?
Statesman? That might be better. Yeah, station sounds like stations.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to the station.
So, United Statesman?
Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah. So, anyway, this place is, like, incredibly rural. The town is, like, a whole 40 square miles with less than 1,400 people. And this was way too small for Brianna. I mean, it's too small for me.
I know.
During her sophomore year of high school, she transferred from her local high school to Enosburg Falls High School, which is like 7 miles away, to be in a larger high school where her friends attended. I did hear on one podcast that this was partly due to some family strife between Bruce and Kelly, the parents, that the dad wanted to move out and Brianna was going to go with him. I'm not sure if they ever officially moved out and then Bruce moved, like they moved back, or if they never moved out to begin with and she just went to school at this other school. Yeah. But either way, on her 17th birthday, Brianna decided she was ready to move off the farm. And she was still in school. It was her senior year of high school. And her mom said that there wasn't really any issues or conflicts. Like, they didn't have a fight and she was like, I'm moving out or whatever. She just was sick of living in this isolation. Done. And I saw on one thing where they kind of lived off of the grid. Mm-hmm. They had solar power for, like, their electricity and, like, water wells and stuff. And, like, didn't really rely on, like, modern things.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that solar panels are pretty modern.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, they weren't connected to, like, town electricity or, anything. And her parents, I mean, I haven't really seen her dad, but her mom was on the episode of Disappeared, and, like, she didn't act like they were, like, I don't want to say weirdos. Like, live off the grid, like, like, like...
unconventional?
Yeah. Like, it didn't seem that way. I think it was just maybe because of how rural it was. Like, that's just how it had to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Brianna, enrolled in another high school that was about 15 miles away to be with another group of friends. I think that she had made plans to live with one friend, but then that didn't work out, and her life got super unstable, and she started couch surfing in various friends' and boyfriends' houses. She eventually dropped out of high school altogether, but at the end of February 2004, Brianna moved in with a childhood friend named Jillian Stout in Sheldon, Vermont, and enrolled in a GED program. She started working 2 jobs, and it seemed like she had kind of found some stability.
Yeah.
And so, let's also remember, though, that she was 17. She did not live at home. She was not always hanging out with the best people and not always making the best decisions. And she was still partying some, even if it wasn't as much as she was doing when she had been doing the couch surfing thing.
Sounds like a fairly typical 17-year-old.
Yeah, I would say so. So 3 weeks before her disappearance, Brianna went to a party. And according to a friend who was interviewed for the episode of Disappeared, Brianna was a loud drunk. And that's not a direct quote. She mostly, like, the way she described it was that, when, like, she was, like, loud and silly. Mm-hmm. Like, she seemed like she was probably a happy drunk.
Yeah.
She liked attention. And that was kind of one of the things that her friends were talking about on the disappeared episode, even as far as like her changing schools the first time, was that she didn't really fit in, and she didn't, she kind of felt out of place, and she wanted to go somewhere else where she felt like she fit in better.
Understandable.
Right. So she especially liked the attention if it was coming from boys, which again, she's a 17-year-old girl.
Yes.
So, at this particular party, it seemed like she was there with her own boyfriend. She was maybe flirting with another boy, or maybe just said something that was construed as flirting or whatever, but this other boy's girlfriend did not like that.
Right.
This girl's name was, I'm pretty sure she's still around, Keely LaCrosse. She and Brianna were maybe friends or friendly or had used to be friends or whatever teenage girls do. And she got upset. And then Brianna was just like, I'm going to take myself out of the situation. Like, this is silly. And she went out to wait in her boyfriend's truck for him to come out so that he could take her home. Keely comes out of the house and goes and knocks on the window of the truck. And when Brianna rolls down the window, Keely, starts wailing on her.
Yeah, that sucks, especially when the other girl was trying to, make a decent decision.
Right. She was just like, I'm getting out of here, And, she was there with her own boyfriend. It wasn't, by all accounts, didn't seem like she was trying to take this girl's boyfriend or something. But, she hit Brianna in the face several times, broke her nose, gave her a concussion. She had to go to the hospital. One thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that in her youth, Brianna was trained in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So Wikipedia used the term extensively trained. Everything else I watched and listened to did mention that she had been trained in jiu-jitsu. But one thing they don't mention is when she was trained, because it just said, in her youth she was trained.
Yeah.
She didn't fight back when Keely was hitting her. And her mom asked her why she didn't fight back, and her response was something like, I was afraid if I fought back, people would be mad and not like me anymore.
Yeah.
Which, again, just, speaks to her, wanting to be liked and accepted. I had initially, when I heard that story, thought that maybe she didn't fight back because people who are trained in martial arts aren't supposed to get into street fights because they're literally, deadly weapons. But the other thing is, I said, I don't know how long ago her training had
because if it
been.
was, kiddie jujitsu, I don't know how dangerous she would be.
And I even have written down that, if she was 6 when she was trained in jujitsu, maybe that didn't mean a whole lot 11 years later.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it was, a class for, small children, 1, she may not be practiced anymore, and 2, I don't know how dangerous she would be.
Right. And so, I don't know. Her friend talked her into pressing charges against Keely. And Brianna was initially hesitant because, again, she didn't want to make things worse for herself socially. Right. But she did go ahead and go through with pressing charges. And then we're going to fast forward to the morning of March 19th, 2004, which was a Friday. Brianna was going to take her GED test that day, and her mom picked her up and took her for breakfast. She took her GED. She passed.
Good job.
And to celebrate, she went and had lunch with her mom, Kelly. Her dad, Bruce, was in New York for work. Kelly said that Brianna was happy. She had been talking about applying to colleges now that she was done with her GED. And then they went shopping in St. Albans after lunch, which was Brianna's favorite pastime because, according to her mom, everything looked good on her.
Yeah.
Which must be nice.
It must be nice.
She said that she could, pick, the weirdest stuff out and, go in the dressing room and come back out and, look like a model.
I'm always envious of people like that.
I know.
Who can wear, just whatever.
Yeah. And she was pretty, I don't know if she was really tall, but, taller than me. And thin.
Most people are taller than we are.
Yes. Except maybe 3rd graders.
Yes.
Okay, so...
But, there were some really tall 5th graders.
Yeah, there were.
At 5th grade graduation.
Well, when I first started teaching and I taught the 5th grade, those kids would be like, hey, I'm older than you, or I'm taller than you, and I'd be like, yeah, the kindergartners are too. Yeah, great job. So,
It's not hard.
Yeah. My mom didn't grow me long enough, I don't think. Bake me long enough. Whatever. Okay. So.
You weren't well done.
I was not. Okay. So they went shopping. While they were shopping, and I guess they were in the checkout line already, Kelly on the episode of Disappeared said that Brianna saw something out of the window of the store that caught her eye and said that she would be right back. And it looked like whatever she saw, like, made her upset. Mm-hmm. She went outside. And Kelly finished purchasing whatever she was buying and met Brianna in the parking lot, and the vibe had totally shifted, where like before she was happy, like you know, talking about stuff, now having she was day. Like agitated and like visibly shaken, and she told her mom like, I need to go home and get ready for work. And lots of people like think, you know, like she saw something out the window or a person or something and it upset her. I did read something like right before we started recording that was an interview with one of the private investigators that the family had hired, and he was like, I don't know, he was like, you know, when a 17-year-old girl has been around her mom for a while and is like starts getting irritated because she's been around her mom for like way too long. Yeah. And she also smoked, and her mom didn't approve of her smoking, and he was like, she could have just been like irritated and wanted to go outside and smoke, and, you know, just was being a typical moody 17-year-old.
Could be.
But this is kind of like, I don't know, it seems to be something that a lot of people like latch onto because she was fine, and then all of a sudden she wasn't. Mm-hmm. And it isn't really clear whether Kelly asked Brianna what was wrong or not, but people have come after this lady in a big way for not asking Brianna what was wrong with her. And, like, again, we're dealing with a 17-year-old girl.
Right.
And so she might have asked and then been told that nothing was wrong, and then just didn't push. Because, again, her daughter was, like, strong-willed and independent enough that she didn't even want to live in her house anymore. She wanted to move out. She might not have asked because she knew that Brianna wasn't going to tell her, or that it was going to cause a fight. And she didn't want to ruin the good day that they had been having. It's just so easy for us, I think, as outsiders to judge what people did or didn't do or didn't say or whatever in that moment. And, like, trust me, when we talk about Priceless Pizza, you're going to hear all of the opinions.
So many opinions.
Oh, so many opinions about that. But aside from Brianna, like, suddenly getting moody, there didn't seem to be any other issues, like, that her mom needed to worry about. You know, like, she was working 2 jobs. She seemed to have a pretty good work ethic. She had just finished her GED. She had a steady place to live. She was talking about college. Like, it didn't appear that her mom had something to worry about other than, like, she suddenly got moody. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. And probably this woman has wondered a bazillion times if something would have happened differently if she had asked. Or if she had pushed.
Well, that's what I was about to say, is that she didn't have foresight.
Right.
And so she probably thought it wasn't really a big deal at the time.
Exactly.
If it even was a big deal. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's not like she knew something bad was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And, like, you know, the saying is hindsight is 20/20 for a reason. Mm-hmm. Because looking back, you can make all the right decisions.
Yes. But in the moment, you know.
Yeah. And maybe one thing could have changed it, but maybe it wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah.
So,
because it could be completely unrelated.
Yeah. So anyway, Kelly dropped Brianna off at home, and this will be the last time that Kelly ever sees Brianna.
That's sad.
Yep. So anyway, Brianna gets ready for work. She writes a note to her friend, roommate Jillian, that she'd be off between 10 and midnight and would be home right after that. And she went to her job at the Black Lantern Inn, and she worked her shift as a dishwasher. Another hindsight story from this time told by Kelly on Disappeared. She said that she and Bruce had been to dinner at another restaurant in the area, and when they were driving home, they had to drive past the Black Lantern, and that Kelly suggested that they go in and say hello, and Bruce was like, that'll probably just embarrass her, and we don't want to, like, make her boss think that her parents need to check on her, and we don't want to embarrass her in front of her bosses and her coworkers or whatever. We'll just talk to her later. And they drove on.
Yeah.
And so they're probably sad and wish they had stopped. But Brianna finished her shift. Her coworkers were talking about sticking around and like going out or hanging out or whatever after their shift. The way I initially heard this story is that Brianna told them that she was tired and had to be up the next morning to go to work at her other job and was going to go home and go to bed, and she left. But then, so I listened to a couple of different podcasts about this. There was one called And Then They Were Gone, and then there was another show called Down the Rabbit Holes. And I can't remember which one it was that I was listening to, but they were saying that the earliest newspaper accounts said that she told her coworkers she was planning to take a trip out of town. But there doesn't seem to be any evidence that that was true, because what they found in her car wasn't anything that you would take if you were going on a trip.
All right, guys, thank you for listening to part 1 of the Twisted and Mysterious podcast. Remember, people are gross and don't get murdered.